What about the claims about socialization? Boys, toys, guns, girls, pink frocks. No. Natural selection doesn't build us to be putty in others' hands. Anyone who could be so readily manipulated about how to be a male or how to be a female successfully would never have become our ancestor.
I think there's a responsibility for people who look at sex differences to do so in a very careful, evidence-based way. It's very easy to make sweeping statements about groups of people, including the two sexes, which could easily become forms of discrimination or generalizations which simply don't apply.
Next question. Allison plays baseball. In the last 25 times at bat, she made a hit 4 times. Based on the last 25 times at bat, what is the experimental probability that Allison will make a hit on her next time at bat?
Let's see. 4, 0, 25, 0.
Autism or Asperger's syndrome is a disability when it comes to understanding the social world, but isn't always a disability when it comes to understanding the physical world, and can even lead to precocious ability.
56 times.
Yes?
Students in mathematics have a higher rate of autism. It's very easy to make sweeping statements about groups of people.
People often associate autism with liking maths and science and nothing else, but I know so many autistic people who love being creative. But that is a stereotype.
Their behaviour is simply an extreme of the typical male pattern of behaviour. The toys that children with autism often get obsessed with, very often they are very systematic toys like Lego. It's very easy to make sweeping statements about groups of people. People with autism are showing an extreme of the typical male pattern of development. It's very easy to make sweeping statements about groups of people.
They seem to lack empathy, whatever that means, that they don't seem to be aware of how other people might be feeling, how other people might be thinking.
It's very easy to make sweeping statements about groups of people. Children with autism show a profile that would match an extreme male profile.
They seem to lack empathy, whatever that means.
Thanks, that kid just said hello to you.
They just latched on to the idea that I had no empathy. Empathy is too complex for some psychologists to understand, as it turns out.
They seem to lack empathy, whatever that means.
If you don't say hello back, you might think that you're being rude.
Okay.
You feel what other people feel.
Did you hear him say hello?
Uh-huh.
Max, I love you.
Yeah, I was like, I'm supposed to be the one with no empathy. How do you not understand how I feel?
Jabbar, I'm very sorry for hitting you. Or, Jabbar, I'm very sorry for hitting you. Okay, which one means more? I'm not sure.
They seem to lack empathy.
Max, which one? You really can't tell which one means more?
Their behaviour is simply an extreme of the typical male pattern of behaviour.
You feel what other people feel.
I try to understand them, but I can't.
You feel what other people feel.
They struggle to imagine other people's thoughts, their motives.
Asperger's is supposed to make me smart.
People with autism are scoring higher on tests of scientific aptitude.
But if I'm smart, then why don't I get why they're laughing at me?
You feel what other people feel.
Asperger's syndrome is a disability when it comes to understanding the social world.
People are so afraid of variety that they try and fit everything into a tiny little box with really specific labels.
It's very easy to make sweeping statements about groups of people, which could easily become forms of discrimination